Good morning, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Monday morning, December 23rd. And we're looking at the market profile on Window Trader of the SPY ETF. And what is a new week without a weekly gap higher? As with just over an hour to go prior to the opening, the bulls just continue to maul their way to all-time highs day after day after day. We had very good volume on Friday, and I know it was an expiration, but it was still very good volume. So let's go over a destination and a game plan for this morning. So for the upside, I had three destinations coming into today. Now remember, we had a lot of bad ticks all over the place, especially on Friday. We're right below where the ones on the upside were. So the first one on the upside was going to be 9 wide at 321.14, but if we open above it, it will become a downside destination. But there's still an hour to go, so we'll use it on both sides, 321.14. Then we have Friday's high, which was a weekly high, an all-time high of 321.45, and then we had an overnight all-time high of 322.35. For the downside, if we gap higher, then we will use Friday's high of 321.45. Then below that, we go right back to the 9 wide at 321.14. And then there's nothing until we get more market-generated information till Friday's low of 320.37. And then the set of single prints from the 19th that held 320.26 get filled at 25. And the second set at 320.11. So what's the game plan for this morning? Well, obviously, we have a short week. Christmas is smack in the middle of the week, so you're going to have a lot of people off today and tomorrow. And then the rest, the other half, that take off Thursday, Friday. So I would expect lighter volume. We're gapping higher again, right? Gap rules are going to apply. If you don't want to keep buying, then you can sit out and wait it out. But I would not short it, right? That's for certain. I would love to get an all-time high in the regular trading hours that hold, right? We keep getting all-time highs in the pre-market and the overnight. So we're going to have to see. I would not short this market on the opening. You can certainly buy it. We're trading at 321.80, 321.45 is the high. You certainly know you're out. If this gap gets filled, then you're out of the trade. Now, if it to open a lot higher within the next hour, then I would certainly just watch and wait, because then you could get an inventory adjustment, and then I would buy it closer to the gap fill rather than, say, $1 higher. Still wouldn't short it until I get more market-generated information. That's for certain, right? New highs each day, people are getting, I don't want to buy the all-time high. Well, guess what? Each day it's a new all-time high. The market can't go down till it stops going up. And for that to happen, you have to get into balance. We're one time framing up on the daily for 8 days, okay? Even with the dividend on Friday. So early on, if I open around the 321.80 level, I'd buy a call. I know my out if we fill the gap. If you fill the gap and come back in and get accepted into yesterday's range, well, then you can take a put position, because odds are you're going to trade down to at least the POC then. So those would be the two trades early in the day. Chart-wise, gap on there's gaps on all 3 time frames that are holding. Monthly is 1 time framing up. Gap is my main focus. Weekly, 1 time framing up for 2 weeks now. Gap is my main focus, and you may have another gap this morning. So you remember, when a trend starts getting older, you get less and less distance away from each other. Well, right now, we're getting more distance away from previous highs. If that holds, then the trend is not over yet. If we gap higher and then fail, it fills and we get accepted back in, then things can change. But right now, this trend is showing that it still has some legs. Same on the daily. Yes, we haven't gotten as much distance away, but look, right? Up, balance, up, balance, up. So again, the trend, you're going to know when the trend starts slowing. Right now, we're looking to gap higher again. If you don't fill that gap, well, then this trend is continuing to have legs to it. If you fill the gap and get accepted back into here, well, then you have a 5 or 6 day balance. Those are the things you have to look at. Good luck trading today. Have a great day, and we'll recap at 4 p.m.